Let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm a former cam girl, now giving relationship advice. I know, the irony is thick. Somewhere out there, a man is clutching his pearls like, ma'am, weren't you literally online flirting for tips? And I'm like, sir, exactly. You think I don't know men? I have seen men when they're lonely. I've seen men when they're in love. I've seen men when they're married and pretending they're not. I've seen men when their wife is asleep in the next room. I didn't just study men, I observed them in their natural habitat. So if you're wondering how I pivoted from lingerie and ring lights to luxury feminine energy and life coaching, baby, I didn't change careers, I upgraded departments. Now, let's talk about the signs he's cheating, because if there's one thing I know, men always tell on themselves. All right, ladies, first, let me say this clearly. Not every man is cheating, but every woman ignores her intuition at least once. And the real problem isn't that men cheat, it's that women gaslight themselves when the signs are right in front of their face. Let's get into it. There's a sudden privacy shift. If his phone used to live face up on the counter and now it's face down, on silent, password changed, taken into the bathroom, clutched like a newborn baby, that is not privacy, that is behavior modification. Men don't suddenly become CIA agents. And here's what's important, it's not about the phone, it's about the shift. Cheating creates anxiety. Anxiety creates control, and control shows up as secrecy. If he used to casually leave his phone around and now he guards it like it contains nuclear codes, something changed. And you need to pay attention to when it changed. He becomes either overly nice or weirdly distant. Here's the guilt gifter. Suddenly, he's buying random gifts, complimenting you more, planning surprise dates, being unusually affectionate, not because he's in love, because he feels bad. Now you have the emotional ghost, or he just withdraws. Short replies, less affection, irritated easily, picks fights, blames you for everything. Cheating creates emotional disconnection. You cannot emotionally invest in two women equally. One will get the performance, the other gets the leftovers. Next, his schedule gets complicated. New gym routine, new work project, new friend from the office, more guys' nights, more last minute cancellations. Consistency is the language of loyalty. When his schedule becomes vague, inconsistent, or defensive, pay attention. Especially if he can't answer simple timeline questions, stories slightly change. He overexplains small details but avoids big ones. Liars rehearse small details to sound believable, but they avoid depth. Next, he accuses you of cheating. Projection is the oldest trick in the book. When a man starts randomly questioning your loyalty without evidence, ask yourself why. Cheaters become suspicious because they know how easy it is to cheat. If he suddenly goes through your phone, questions who you're texting, gets insecure about male coworkers, makes comments like, I know how women are, it's often internal guilt talking. Next is intimacy changes. This one is huge. Either he wants sex way more because novelty energy is high, or he avoids sex with you completely. Also, watch for new moves out of nowhere, different rhythm, less eye contact, emotionally disconnected intimacy. When a man is mentally elsewhere, his body follows. Energy does not lie. The next one, you feel kind of crazy. This is the most overlooked sign. You start overthinking, checking small details, feeling anxious, feeling insecure for no reason, questioning your own instincts. Here's what women do. They gather evidence to prove they're wrong, instead of gathering evidence to confirm what they already feel. Your nervous system picks up on shifts before your mind does. If you feel off, something is off. Even if it's not cheating, it's disconnection. And disconnection is just as serious. Next, he stops investing in the future. When a man is serious, he plans ahead. When he's cheating, he lives in the moment. You'll notice less talk about long-term plans, avoiding conversations about marriage or trips, vague answers about where is this going, delaying commitments. Cheating men avoid building futures because they're managing secrets. Now let's talk about what not to do. Do not beg, cry hysterically, investigate obsessively, compete with the other woman, or lose your dignity. The second you start competing, you've already demoted yourself. If a man is cheating, the issue is not that the other woman is better. It's that he lacks integrity, and you cannot compete with broken character. Be the untouchable muse response. Here's the energy shift. Instead of, are you cheating? Who is she? Tell me the truth. You shift to, I've been feeling a disconnect. I don't chase clarity, I observe behavior. If this relationship isn't aligned, I'll adjust accordingly. Calm, detached, unbothered. Men fear losing access more than they fear confrontation. When you panic, he feels in control. When you go still, he feels the ground move. But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes women focus so much on whether he's cheating because they already know he's not fully choosing them. Cheating is a symptom. The real issue is lack of devotion, lack of transparency, lack of masculine leadership, lack of emotional security. A man who is deeply invested does not move sloppy. He protects what he values. If he's cheating, you don't need proof to leave. You need standards. And if he's not cheating, but your intuition is screaming, you still address it. Because a woman in her luxury feminine energy does not beg for reassurance. She requires alignment. And remember, the goal is not to catch him cheating. The goal is to be with a man who would never risk losing you. And that starts with you being willing to walk away. Let's take this deeper because the real power isn't just spotting cheating. It's understanding why you stayed confused in the first place. Let's talk about the uncomfortable part because spotting cheating is one thing, but staying when you know something is off, that's the real conversation. Most women don't stay because they're stupid. They stay because of emotional investment, fear of starting over, ego, attachment, hope. Hope is the most dangerous drug in dating. You start thinking, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe he's just stressed. Maybe I need to be more understanding. Maybe if I'm softer, sexier, calmer, more patient. No. A man who wants to be faithful does not need perfect conditions to do so. Character is not situational. Sometimes we get into a trauma bond trap. Sometimes it's not even love. It's the highs and lows. When he pulls away, you feel anxious. When he comes back affectionate, you feel relief. That relief feels like passion, but it's actually a nervous system addiction. Chaos creates chemical attachment. Peace feels boring when you're used to drama. So if he's cheating and then coming back extra loving, that push-pull dynamic can hook you deeper than stability ever could. Be honest with yourself. Are you addicted to him or addicted to the emotional roller coaster? Here's the ego bruise. Sometimes it's not even about him. It's about the fact that another woman was chosen. And that hits your pride. You think, what does she have that I don't? Stop right there. Cheating is rarely about upgrading. It's about access and opportunity. Men cheat down all the time. They cheat sideways. They cheat out of boredom. They cheat out of ego validation. It's not a performance review of you. Do not internalize someone else's lack of discipline. Let's talk if you confront him. Let's talk strategy. If you decide to address it, do it once. not 47 emotional interrogations. You say, I've noticed some shifts. I value honesty. If something has changed, I'd rather know than pretend. Then be quiet. Silence is powerful. Watch his eyes, his breathing, his defensiveness, whether he flips it on you. A truthful man may feel uncomfortable. A cheating man feels cornered. There's a difference. If he denies it, here's the hard truth. Sometimes you will never get full proof, and women stay stuck because they're waiting for a confession. You don't need a signed affidavit. You need consistency. If behavior doesn't change after the conversation, that's your answer. Words mean nothing without behavioral correction. And if he is cheating, then this becomes about self-respect, not revenge, not exposure, not humiliation, self-respect. Your power move is not destroying him, it's emotionally detaching. When a woman goes quiet, composed, and unavailable, that shakes a man more than screaming ever will, because now he feels lost. And loss is the only teacher some men understand. So let's elevate this. Instead of asking, is he cheating? Start asking, does this relationship make me feel secure? Because even if he's technically faithful, if you feel anxious, unstable, unsure, constantly questioning, that's still misalignment. Loyalty is more than physical exclusivity. It's emotional safety. A woman in her highest energy does not investigate obsessively, does not compete, does not beg for reassurance, and doesn't tolerate repeated disrespect. She observes, she addresses, she decides. And if necessary, she exits gracefully. Because the ultimate flex is this: you are not afraid to lose someone who is not afraid to lose you. So let me leave you with this. If he cheats, it doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means he wasn't disciplined enough to handle access to you. There is a difference. You are not auditioning for loyalty. You are selecting for it. And the moment you truly understand that, cheating becomes less about heartbreak and more about disqualification. If you would like one-on-one coaching, the email is in the description box.